Have you guys seen this? The clip that took us all by storm. Such a funny video. And even though it's just a joke, it actually made me cry. The poor little kitty all alone. And it just brought to the surface the real emotions behind being alone. Loneliness has to be one of the strongest and most painful emotions, and it takes so many forms. You can be in a crowd full of people, yet feel so unseen. You're with your closest group of friends and family, yet you still can feel misunderstood and disconnected. You're single and you want that intimacy of being in a relationship. Or maybe you're in a loving relationship, yet you still can feel empty and lonely inside. What is the deal? Is there any hope? Today's Creative Devotional is going to jump right into that question. While I work on another junk journal page inspired from the topic, I'll be covering 3 experiences of loneliness that we have and how we can find comfort from God in each of them. Let's go! The first and probably most obvious point speaks to physically being alone. We are capable of doing so much on our own, and some of us actually don't mind and even prefer to do things independently. But I think we can all agree there certainly are days when it would just be nice to have that helping hand, that listening ear, that shoulder to cry on. There are those long nights when you just wish there was someone there to hold and be held by. There are times when we just need the perspective of someone else, and some jobs that really would be done better with 2 sets of hands. When I find myself in these situations of loneliness, Isaiah 41:10 has been a staple verse that my heart immediately recites. Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. The truth is, we are never truly alone. God, being omnipresent, is always near and always eager to listen and to help us. And when we put our faith in Jesus, we are filled with the Holy Spirit who empowers us to walk a faith-filled life and accomplish things that would never be possible in our own strength. And it's important to remember, too, that the Lord works through other people to impact our lives. The beauty of a healthy church community is that there are people with all sorts of backgrounds and skills that can come alongside one another and be moved by the Spirit and the compassion of the Lord to help a brother or sister in need. That is the purpose of the church, after all, to be the hands and feet of the Lord. So in those times of need, don't be afraid to seek help. Cry out to God, for whether He strengthens you to accomplish it with His strength or brings someone into your life to meet that need, He is with you and eager to move in your life. Point number 2 is when we feel alone in our suffering. Heartbreak, health problems, oppression, financial hardship, the list really goes on and on. All types of suffering have a way of making us feel alone as we try to make sense of and endure the pain. Even with amazing community around us, the reality is the problem is still there, and even the comfort of friends and family can feel hollow in our most broken moments. When you are grieving in some form over your situation, you are wrestling with it daily. It is an internal battle, and therefore it feels so isolating and lonely. On the night before Jesus was arrested, He took 3 of His closest disciples with Him to the Garden of Gethsemane to pray. Jesus knew what was coming, that He was going to face the brutality of Roman crucifixion. He was so distraught over it that he was sweating blood, a condition called hematohidrosis that occurs under extreme physical or emotional distress. Luke 22:44 says, "And being in agony, he prayed more earnestly, and his sweat became like great drops of blood falling to the ground. And he came to the disciples and found them sleeping, and he said to Peter, 'So could you not watch with me 1 hour?' And again he came and found them sleeping, for their eyes were heavy. So leaving them again, he went away and prayed for the 3rd time, saying the same words again." Even though they were with him, Jesus suffered alone as his disciples slept through the night. Have you ever sought comfort from someone when you were struggling and were met with disappointment? Sometimes even our most caring loved ones are not able to be there for us in the way we need. None of us are perfect. I'm certainly guilty of falling asleep for people in my life too, but Jesus is the perfect comforter. In our brokenness, we can trust that God empathizes with us. He understands the weight of suffering, both physically and emotionally, better than anyone, and therefore can strengthen and speak encouragement to us in ways that no one else can. He is in tune to that internal struggle when no one else is. Which leads us to the next point. Loneliness as a result of feeling unseen and misunderstood. I don't know about you guys, but this point especially hits home for me. Personally, I feel like the true root of loneliness lies in the desire to be fully known. How good does it feel when you share something personal with someone and you feel totally seen? There is such comfort and beauty in sharing parts of our hearts with someone we love and trust. However, when that same vulnerability feels like it's being brushed off or disregarded, it can be devastating. The reality is, none of us are capable of ever fully knowing someone else. Yet we long for it so desperately that we end up placing unrealistic expectations on one another, only to be shattered when they aren't met, leaving us feeling even more lonely than before. Psalm 139 is one of the earliest passages I read in my faith journey that spoke so deeply to this desire in my own heart and changed my perspective forever. The first 4 verses start with this: "O Lord, you have searched me and known me. You know when I sit down and when I rise up. You discern my thoughts from afar. You search out my path and my lying down, and are acquainted with all my ways. Even before a word is on my tongue, behold, O Lord, you know it all together." God is the only one who truly knows us. Every quirk, your sense of humor, every thought and creative idea, your hopes and desires, every loss and disappointment, the good, the bad, and the ugly, down to every last unique experience you've ever had. He knows you and sees you and loves you unconditionally. This is the beauty of the gospel. This is the beauty of God. The Lord is a relational being. Jesus didn't overcome death and sin just so we could recite a couple verses, get some Christian motivation, and go about our merry way. He did it so that our relationship with God could be restored, and we could experience the joy of being absolutely whole and complete in Him. When we remain focused on this truth, we can rest in the comfort that in everything we face in this life, we are not alone. I hope this video encouraged you guys today that you are not alone, and I know we could delve into these topics so much deeper. So if you'd like me to cover anything more in depth in a future video, let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an awesome day. This has been KO, here with you to create eternal perspective. And scene!